Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Chaotic Crossover. I am one of your hosts, Will.
And I am AJ.
And welcome to our second episode of the new brand, which is just a new name.
Yep.
As you can see, as of yet, our shirt situation is the same. So you can imagine that the views have remained at a consistent pace, just a flat line, no up or down. So I'd say
Yeah,
we're rocking that
we
same
haven't
momentum.
lost popularity. We haven't
Yeah, we
lost any.
right. So honestly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But as of our challenge, we will be wearing the same black shirts
Until we get one view on our channel on any video.
Yeah, and then when we do get a view, it's going to be we're gonna put a Venom mask on. I don't know. We have no idea, but we're gonna change the shirts.
Yeah. We will inject ourselves with the real Venom when we do
Yeah,
that.
we're just gonna inject ourselves with chocolate syrup. That's gonna be how you get Venom powers.
Oh God. Can you imagine if Venom tasted like chocolate?
I hope he does. You know,
He's
I
just like an
know he doesn't.
Oreo. He's an Oreo alien.
Yeah, I know he doesn't, but I wish he did. Like his eyes were cream. You know what I mean? And his
Yeah.
logo was. Oh, but AJ, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. Pretty good. Just saw a movie that we're gonna talk about here soon. What
Oh,
about you, Will?
yeah, I saw the same movie, The Boys in the Boat. It was amazing. Very lovely tale about the human spirit and achievement. Also saw Twisters. Oh, and there was also this small movie.
More like an indie film.
It was an indie film, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, we think we're the only two people that saw it.
Yeah, we're really the only people that care about it. So that's how we're gonna have to roll with it.
Which is why you're watching our review and not someone already more popular than us review.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if you want a popularly viewed video of this, go watch Comic Pop, go watch Jeremy Johns, go watch the Honest Trailer in 3 months. But this is the real review
This is
for the
the
real fan.
We actually saw the real movie, and no one else did.
Yeah.
What everyone else saw was fake. I did see something that Ryan Reynolds said that like he really wanted to like not promote this movie at all, like and put it underneath like another like film title. And then so when people went to see it, it just turned out to be Deadpool, and everyone would like freak out.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they did that because that would have been so funny. But it definitely would have hurt them in the box office big time.
Yeah, the Alpha Cop pitch.
Yeah.
I to be fair, would have been amazing. As soon as people found out, the box office would have it would have pulled The Greatest Showman, where it wouldn't have done well like in the first week, but then it would have just skyrocketed.
Oh, yeah. Week 2 box office would have been huge.
It would have been astronomical. But no, we both saw the Deadpool Wolverine movie. I saw it opening day. You saw it Monday.
Yeah, I saw it a couple days later. Stayed away from spoilers. Yeah, I feel like I had like something, I don't even remember what it was, but I had something like very small spoiled for me, but it didn't matter in the long run. Like,
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, for all of our viewers negative, we are doing a spoiler review. We're going to be talking about what we liked, what we didn't like, which I think is going to be very few things.
yeah.
But and of course, what we would have changed because we are writers. we definitely know how to make the MCU better.
Yeah,
Literally,
hire us.
literally oh my gosh, I've seen so many thumbnails. This might actually get us views, is just putting does Deadpool and Wolverine save the MCU? Like something like that, where everyone's oh my god.
The MCU's doing like fine. Like, is it as good as it used to be? Admittedly, no. But I still enjoy it. I've still enjoyed every single movie that's come out, even the ones that people were like, it sucks. The Marvels, both of us, we talked about the Marvels. Both of us thought it was great.
Yeah, I had a good time. Was it amazing? Not necessarily.
Yeah, was it like a good narrative movie that like made an impact on the movie industry? No, but not every movie is going to be. And was I smiling pretty much the whole time watching it? Yeah, I was. It was awesome.
Yeah. And even though it didn't have any like real freaks, it did have a cat that had a freak mouth.
And a
That's a
musical
plus.
planet.
Yes. That was I am indifferent to, but that was also good. Um, but we are not here to talk about the Marvels.
No, no,
We
no.
are so Deadpool and Wolverine. First off, big spoiler: a lot of cameos in this movie. A lot of I would hesitate to
Yes,
even call some of them cameos. They are roles in the movie.
right.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. This is a spoiler thing. You've already given us your view for us to change shirts, so like you can now stop watching if you don't want to.
yeah, that was your payment by clicking on this.
Yep.
So what I really liked one was the cameos. Let's just run through a few just to
Sure.
really knock them out of the park.
I
We
think the
have
earliest one is the Cavalrine.
Yeah, we have Henry Cavill as a multiverse version of Wolverine. We have Chris Evans as not Captain America, but his original superhero role, Johnny
Johnny.
Storm of the Fantastic Four. And then we get a couple of not the actors who originally played them, but we get Azazel from X-Men First Class. We get
I thought they did get the original actor for him. Maybe not.
who can
I,
tell with that red makeup,
yeah, I have no
but
idea.
they got Juggernaut from The Last Stand.
Yeah, but not the Vinny, what's his name version, because he was just like, oh, we have another new Juggernaut, and I was like, could you just not get Vinny Jones? I think it is.
Yeah, I think he actually does not like that he was in X3 anymore. He was just like,
Oh,
well, that was stupid and it made me look really effing dumb. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. He didn't want to come back. But yeah, we have Toad, we have Sabretooth,
oh yeah,
but not,
Toad played by Darth Maul.
yeah, I don't know if he's credited in this as being in this movie, so I would have to check. We also have the big ones. We have Daphne Keene back as X-23. We have uh, Jennifer Garner as Elektra. We have
Mhm.
Wesley Snipes as Blade, and my favorite, Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum, the Michael who is known as Magic himself, as Gambit.
Magical Michael.
Magical Michael. We have Magical Michael as Gambit from the X-Men universe, who, if you don't know, never effing played Gambit. He was just rumored to have been in a movie to play Gambit that was never
Yep.
made.
Yeah, he was like super excited about it recently. I saw like before I saw the movie, I saw like an article. It was like saying that Channing Tatum was like super disappointed this movie never got made, and I was like, huh, I wonder why people are talking about him right now. Before I saw the movie, and then I saw that, but yeah, they kept making that character kept making jokes of like, yeah, I was like, it feels like I've always been here. I'm not gonna do the accent. I can't do that accent. Like, oh man, I've been in the womb. I was like born in the void because his movie never got made, so his character never existed before in any IP. And I was like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah,
Great that
super
we got him
fun
now,
though.
though.
Oh no, he did great. I've heard a lot of people say they didn't like him, but I personally loved him. He was hilarious. Plus, honestly, with Deadpool, just his Cajun accent is thick. But
I was actually I was like, man, are they gonna do the Cajun accent? And then they did, and I was like, I think that's good. I think that's good. I think if you take that away from the character, it's not the same. Like the Gambit that was in like X-Men's or X-Men Origins Wolverine, I don't think had it or anything.
he did not, and he was lesser for it. That's all
Yeah.
I have to say. But yeah, just a quick plot synopsis, or just like the setup for the movie. Deadpool. It has been like what would we say, 8 years or like 6 years since the original movie, but Deadpool is picked up by the TVA. Watch Loki if you don't know what that is. Basically, it's like a multiversal, like time cop organization. And so what they do is they pick up Deadpool and they say, we're going to put you in the Marvel universe, the real one. And you're going to be with the Avengers and Captain America and all that
And
crazy shit.
Thor's gonna cry while
Right.
you lie on the ground. Which
Right.
was a really weird detail to add. People think that's gonna happen in a future movie, and I'm just confused.
I would be surprised if they didn't, because it was such like it was played on, but not enough where they paid it off in this movie. I heard somebody say, and I agree. I think they're just going to save it for like Secret Wars, like Deadpool is being held by Thor, and it literally looks like the scene from Thor: The Dark Worlds.
Right, but in different lighting.
Right. And like Thor has like makeup, like he's got like stitches and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
like a scar. So I don't know. That was definitely funny. But basically, the TVA says to Deadpool, we're gonna put you in the MCU and you're gonna go on all kinds of multiversal missions for us. He's like, oh, great, that's fantastic. Give him a new suit, all things like that. But then they realize the only
Actually
reason
assaulted by the suit guy. He's
Yeah.
like, just like the in the trailer, you see like the him like keep like patting his butt in the suit up montage, and then he goes on, that guy is a predator, but I liked it, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, your suit guy, total predator. But they learn basically that Deadpool is the only part of his universe that is going to be saved, because if you watched Logan, the anchor individual for their universe, because I guess anchor, there's like a human anchor for each universe now, is Logan. And if you watched Logan, Logan's dead. So that universe is slowly going to die unless he finds a replacement.
Yeah, I think Anchor, and we can talk about Anchor being for a little bit. That's a super interesting new concept. It is in the comics. I think it's like Molecule Man in every universe, but in this one, they're kind of going with like different characters and stuff. And basically, I think it's just like, hey, who's the main character? Who's the main character of the movies that we watch? Because they do establish in this film that the Deadpool movies are in the same universe as the X-Men movies, the original X-Men movies, which isn't necessarily something that people expected to be true, because there were some like differences, but they say nope, it's the same one, 10005 or something like that. They established them as that, and basically, if you've seen any of those, Wolverine is the main character of all of those movies, so therefore he's the anchor being. I think that would, and Kevin Feige specifically did not confirm this. I think this leads us to believe that Iron Man is probably the anchor universe being of the MCU, but that would mean that the MCU is dying because the anchor being is dead.
Actually, that is hilarious, because yeah, I was thinking the same thing as you were explaining that. Yeah, if Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man is dead, whew, the MCU is on its last legs.
Well, and it's the thing of like, oh yeah, like if the anchor being dies, then down the line it'll be destroyed like in 1,000 years. I think there's a couple thousand years or something, and I'm like, but doesn't, like, unless the anchor being some sort of like immortal figure, which I guess Logan is kind of close to, wouldn't that mean that like all universes are destined to die in the next millennia? Like, because Iron Man, even if he hadn't died in Endgame, would have died in another like 30 years just from natural causes. Right? So it's weird to me that it's just like, yeah, well, if they die, the universe will die. Well, it's like, well, if it's like, an immortal being like Thor or something, then like, okay, yeah, we can kind of play with that. But then it's weird. It's weird to me. It's a weird concept.
Yeah, not sure why they had to introduce it. Obviously, it was for the plot, but that's okay. But to move on to things I liked, considering that his universe needs a Wolverine, Deadpool literally goes on a montage to find different Wolverines. At first, he goes to, at the start of the movie, the grave of Logan from the movie Logan. Yep. And the TVA
dances to Bye 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 and does like the real dance from the music video. Is awesome.
Right. I actually saw on TikTok the guy who got hired to do that dance in the suit. He's really good at it. He is.
Yeah, I forgot. That is the one thing that I got spoiled, is that song was in the movie. And I was like, that's a weird choice.
Right. But then when you find out he's doing like a dance while also using the adamantium skeleton of
Yep.
fucking Wolverine, the Logan himself.
All 206 bones, 270 if you're watching Gossip Girl, was it?
Yeah.
Which his wife Blake Lively was on.
Right. Which is a fun joke.
Yeah.
But it's basically he does the whole fight with them. And also, Jesus Christ, this is the first R-rated MCU movie. Gets brutal, but in a funny way where you're not like grossed out, you know?
Yeah.
So we get to see that, and then he goes on a whole montage, and we get to see all kinds of Wolverines. We get to see a comic accurate Wolverine, which is so
A short king. A short king.
A mutant short king.
They definitely like made fun of the concept of like a comic accurate Wolverine, and I'm kind of like, well, I kind of like the idea of having a short king play Wolverine. I don't know why they're making fun of it.
To be fair, when I saw it, it's hilarious. But that's the thing. It's hilarious. I don't know if I could take it seriously that the X-Men...
Not a CGI one. No, the CGI one was crazy.
Right. If they got a comic accurate Wolverine, they would just have to get somebody that short. But we see that, and it's awesome because it's Hugh Jackman CGI down to like 5'3".
Looks like Steve Rogers in the first Avenger, but like even shorter.
Right, but also broad-chested, so it's fun. We then get to see Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, where he's got like the metal like hand, and he
Weapon X or whatever.
Right, and listen, the theme is that all of these Wolverines want to freaking kill Deadpool. Everyone he meets just wants to beat the hell out of him. So we see a montage of that. We get to see Old Man Logan, like the actual Old Man Logan, in like the duster,
like Old West, Wild West version, like Clint Eastwood Wolverine.
Right, which was fun. I enjoyed that. He shoots him with a rifle. Then we see the like original, like not the original, but the brown and orange Wolverine suit, which I thought looked pretty good. Honestly, all things. I couldn't tell if it was CG or not, but it looked great. I think
that
it was
didn't try to kill Deadpool.
No, it didn't.
The Hulk comes out.
Right. No, they do the story where Wolverine fights the Hulk, which is fun that they did that. They obviously didn't show Mark Ruffalo's face, which is okay.
Right.
So he gets into the middle of that, teleports then to what I imagine is the cover of like an Uncanny X-Men comic book, where it's literally just the cover where Wolverine is like crucified on an X and there's a pile of skulls. Like it's like a hell dimension. Yeah,
and he just doesn't help him. I was like,
no, he's just like suffering up there, like Marvel Jesus, which is like the big tagline that Deadpool keeps calling himself. But basically, he settles into what I imagine is just a normal ass Canadian bar, and he finds the Wolverine.
The Cavalrine. He does say the Cavalrine. He's real.
Oh, and
that's right. Henry Cavill has two lines, which I kind of like. You got Henry Cavill be in your movie, and didn't give him any role of significance, really, just like a joke. Right. I'm like, the man already got like screwed out of Superman. You could have given him a big role in the Marvel universe, especially he already has a physique for it. He was Superman. I don't know. It was funny. It was fine. It was funny.
Yeah. To be fair, Ryan Reynolds, aka Deadpool, was reacting the same way we all react to Henry Cavill when we see him like with those fucking machine guns.
Oh my God, those arms.
Like they were so big when he was working on the bike in that garage when he finds him. And I was thinking like, holy shit, look at Hugh Jackman's shoulders.
I know.
But then he turns around.
Hugh Jackman's way buffer in this scene. It's not Hugh Jackman.
I know. And by the way, Henry Cavill still pumping that iron all these years later, which I think is impressive. I think he just likes being that fit now all the time.
Well, that's his brand as like an actor nowadays.
Right, like he can't go back, but he's just so humongous as Wolverine, and I think he pops the claws, but he just hits him so hard that he goes across the room, which I'm like, you didn't like punch him with your claws, but I digress. But then finally they settle on the Wolverine that we're going to use, which apparently sucks. Apparently everyone's like, this Wolverine sucks because he failed his entire universe and he's a drunk, but he also but he's also the best considering he has the yellow and blue suit. So good on him. So the whole adventure is just basically, Deadpool and Wolverine trying to save their universe. But I liked the cameos, or like the cameos of suits that we got, all the different types of Wolverines. What was something that you liked, AJ?
I think that like overall they just like produced a fun film that like didn't really overstay its welcome. Like it was just over 2 hours, which is pretty short for a Marvel movie. I think a lot of the jokes were really funny. I loved the Johnny Storm cameo. I'm so glad that didn't get spoiled for me because that was really cool to see. I didn't like seeing him die, but I understand to have Chris Evans in a movie is a lot. I think overall it was just like a fun romp. It was very like character driven, character centric. And it was another multiverse movie with like a bunch of fun cameos, but not in like a. I don't think that they overused it at all. They made fun of it a little bit, but they did a good job. I think the most surprising thing to me was that they got Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Yes. Jennifer Garner, I heard rumors of her coming back. Channing Tatum, I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. He would absolutely be down for something like this. Wesley's, really? You got Wesley Snipes to basically, like, from what I understand, they had to, like, CGI his eyes opening in the third Blade movie because he just didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And he was so tired. So I was like, that was pretty cool. I think a lot of the action was good. A lot of the fight scenes were awesome.
Yeah.
Beautifully framed. The one in the Odyssey, the product placement Honda Odyssey was really cool between Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, one thing that I do love is that this Wolverine is way more comic accurate. Like, because you got to see the yellow suits and that looked great. At the end, you got to see him put on the mask.
But also, that was a big one.
The way he fought was also just more comic accurate too. Like he went on like the all fours and like started running. I don't remember them ever doing that in a previous movie. They never did anything like that. Like he was barely animalistic. He was just like a big buff man that had claws.
And there's a lot of like classic Wolverine moves, which are mainly just put the claws out and Superman jump at somebody.
Right. It was awesome. And it was just like a movie that you just got hyped up about like the whole way through.
Right. Which is probably why the tagline of the movie, like I said, is #let's fucking go. Because listen, if you're looking for like major depth on this story, go somewhere else, man. It's a Deadpool movie. It still has some heart, but it is just it's a movie for the summer. It is fun. It is crazy. It's bombastic. The villain's pretty good, which is Paradox / Cassandra Nova at the end.
Nova's creepy, man.
Dude, she finger fucked so many heads.
And the way that she's like, yeah, my brother can just do it. Professor X can do it with a thought, but this is what I do. And she just goes, ooh, and I go, oh, like it was like that's visceral.
I know.
That is the rated R content we were looking for.
Good to see. And I feel like Emma Corrin, I believe is the actor's name. They did really, really good because if you think about it, Cassandra Nova is not on screen for a very long time.
No.
She is, in fact, a lot of depth is in that character of Cassandra Nova. She is creepy, she is scary, and most of all, she makes me want to see more of her.
Yes. But also at the same time, like, want to see less of her because she scares me.
And to OP, majorly overpowered.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the way she just popped Johnny Storm.
Like
Oh,
skin
man.
and clothes is off.
Oh, yeah, no. That was the Fantastic Four that I grew up on. So and Johnny Storm was like my favorite character in those movies, and I was like, no.
Yeah. Also, that bit where Deadpool is basically like telling Cassandra all the shit that Johnny had apparently talked about her on the car ride over is hilarious. And even funnier when they pay it off at the end credits and show that he did in fact say all of those things.
I don't believe that. I don't believe the end credits scene. I think that Deadpool doctored the footage to make him look better. I think he might have talked a little bit of shit, but those were very specific insults. They were very specific.
They were very specific, but I thought that was hilarious. No, it was all really good. It was a great movie. We got a Deadpool core. We got Nice Pool. We got Head Pool, Kid Pool, Baby Pool, Lady Pool, played by Blake Lively. We got Cowboy Pool, Samurai Pool, Deadpool 2099, and so many others, which I just thought, how many suits did they make for this movie?
Oh my God, so many. That's probably where a lot of the budget went.
Yeah. Because I doubt Hugh Jackman asked for a ton.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had to pay them a few million, but to be fair, putting effing Chris Evans in it is kind of a good joke of like, you don't know what he was doing to the budget.
Yeah, no, Chris Evans, and you got to see Chris Evans not be like the Boy Scout that he's known for today.
Right. Put a little Boston in it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like swearing up a storm. It was a romp. It was a fun romp. It was great.
Yeah. Speaking of the swearing, we did both say this. Obviously, it's a Deadpool movie and it's rated R. A lot of swearing. Like a lot of
F-bombs.
Right.
Just a lot.
But I couldn't tell if that was A, the writer's strike, B, the fact that this is Marvel's first R-rated movie, or if it's just generally like, well, no, it's R-rated. It's gotta have so many F-bombs. Like the amount of times that Wolverine says fuck is kind of baffling.
Right. Like we got our first fuck in the MCU in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 when Chris Pratt said it. And then this one was just like, yeah, here are all of the other ones for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Which, like, don't get me wrong, I am fine with that. And like I've definitely known a ton of people that swear that much in their daily lives. So like it wasn't like necessarily out of place. But as like if I'm thinking about this from like I have no children. If I did have a child that like loved superhero movies, all right, well this one's going to be rated R, but it's in like the universe they love. It is like important to the story of the MCU. I feel like some parents might be like, okay, I can deal with them seeing all the gore. That is crazy. That's why. I mean, that's also why you got like the PG-13 Deadpool 2, right? With,
we're like the Once Upon a Deadpool like special TV edition on FX. Yeah. No, it didn't bother me, but I was just like, that is a lot of swearing.
Yeah. Right. Like I was fine with it.
No, I thought it was good, but it just kind of reminded me of like when you're like told to like ad lib in a scene, and you're like, I'm gonna swear a little bit. You know what I mean?
Fucking, just like fucking
I don't know, whatever.
It felt like I was back in 6th grade, where the funniest joke you could do was to swear. I remember when I was in 6th grade, if I swore, my friends would all start cackling, and I'd be like, "Wow, I'm so cool! I'm so freaking cool as a 12-year-old. I'm gonna keep swearing."
Right? Maybe that was the idea, but regardless, it didn't add or remove anything from the movie, so it was perfectly fine. We're not trying to say that somehow affected our viewing experience.
Yeah, well, this is a Christian channel, to be fair. Like, no.
This is a Protestant channel.
This is unaffiliated with any religion channel.
Welcome to the Puritan comic book show.
God, I can't believe they punched someone in that movie. How dare!
No, but no, I thought it was all good. One thing I wish they would have focused on more was Deadpool's cast of characters, his friends and family. But I realized they kind of don't really get a lot of spotlight. They're the driving motivation for him trying to, save his universe. But really, the only person that gets any actual moments is Peter. But we
Yeah,
love Peter.
and his girlfriend a little bit. Like,
Yeah, we get a little bit of Vanessa, and she is the driving force for him on why he wants to matter. Like
right. That is like the one difference because they kept referencing like this is like original recipe Deadpool. Like I am the original recipe, and all you guys are like the multiverse versions. But I haven't read too many Deadpool comics, but from what I understand, he usually doesn't have a love interest, like at all. So that is
no,
like the one
well,
change in like the Deadpool movies.
yeah. I mean, he's had relationships. He's
Right.
had death. He has I forget what I believe in the comics she's known as Copycat, but yes, Vanessa is his one true love. But I feel like that's good. But yeah, I like how they were literally just like, hey, everybody from the Deadpool movie who can make it today. Just kind of
Besides
show up.
Dave Miller, we're gonna forget that you ever existed.
Right. But yeah, the pretty much anyone who can make it on this date just show up. So like Shadow Star is just there for some
Yep.
reason. We do get Colossus. Good for him.
To be fair, we don't know if Vanisher was there or not.
No, we do not. But Peter is there, and he is
And he
amazing
has
as always.
nipple piercings connected to his apparently massive schlong.
Yeah, which by the way, crazy that we'll get to that in a second. But yes, Peter wants him to be Deadpool, but Wade has kind of left the life a little bit. He's working at a car dealership, and he's like, "When are we gonna go on a Deadpool adventure?" And he's like, "No, we can't."
Yeah, that oof. And then at the end, B-15 from the Loki series is now like more of a commander in the TVA, and she's like checking out Peter.
Oh
And I
yeah,
saw one of the videos was like she was looking at that penis. Looking
Yeah.
at it. That's what she was checking out.
Oh my god, it was very very funny. Yeah, the other stuff I liked was the dog pool. Can't get enough of that. Dog
Just the
pool.
ugliest dog.
Oh, just a real freak. Loved it.
Yeah.
That tongue action. Whoa, it's like an action figure when you squeeze it. It has like a karate chop motion. Oh, love it. Nice Pool, played by Ryan Reynolds, was also very funny. I loved how much of a douche he was and how much like using him as the bullet shield. Like when Deadpool gets
Oh,
shot up a bunch, and just like, it's fine, you can regenerate. And he's like, regenerate?
it's like, do you not even know what that means? Like, you've been hanging out with other Deadpools for a while. You should at least know what it means.
Yeah, it was definitely just a ploy to get the Desert Eagle.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he was just like, this guy's gonna die.
Yeah, and I loved it. And when Wolverine is also getting shot at, but he raises up Dog Pool, and all of them are like, "Hold your fire, hold your
Yeah.
fire."
And he's like, nice Pool was like, I can lightly tap the fourth wall too. The Proposal, which is a movie that Ryan Reynolds was in.
I know, and right,
Like,
and
a while
Deadpool's
ago
like, "Is that what you think I do?"
now.
But no, it was good, and the Deadpool core was very funny. We had Nathan Fillion as Headpool. We
Like
had
in the third MCU appearance as a character that doesn't matter again.
yeah, but this one can't die, so I guess that's fun.
They could bring him back.
Yeah, they had Matthew McConaughey as Cowboy Pool.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then sweet Blake Lively as the Lady Deadpool.
Yeah, at least the voice. And then Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's kids as Kid Pool, the voice of Kid Pool and Baby Pool, I think.
I'd have to check the cast, but I would not doubt it.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
It's kind of
But,
like when they brought in Chris Hemsworth's daughter for whatever reason.
yeah, for Love and Thunder. I didn't hate it. She was good. But yeah, it was very fun. I think we can't really say anything except for it was a great time. But yeah, them fighting the Deadpool core, where we finally get Wolverine pulling down his mask. I'm like, yes. I wasn't super shocked by it, but I was like, great. And it looks
they needed
right.
that in the movie.
And by the way, it looks awesome.
It
like,
looks great.
A lot of people were saying like, oh, it looks kind of phony. Yeah, the blowjob handles.
I thought it looked. I mean, it looked just as realistic as like Deadpool's mask with like the white eyes that they do.
But you know what? Glad they used the white eyes, and I like that the ears weren't like apologetically short. Of like, okay, we put the ears in, but they're like kind of like very like thin. Like, no, they are tall, man.
Right. I think it would have looked even stupider if they had done that. Like,
right. But I do like the comment of, isn't he so scary? He's like Batman, but he can move his neck.
Yep. Yeah, that was good. Then also, did you notice like he killed Nicepool for like those golden guns, and then like in the first 10 seconds of the Deadpool fight, he threw the guns away.
Yeah. And he just kept picking up other ones.
I just watched him go, and I'm like, you talked about those so many times in the movie, fired them like maybe 3 times, and then just drops them.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude.
Which, by the way, great needle drop for that part of the movie. Just Like a Prayer from Madonna. Like a lot of good songs. Yeah, like
the greatest gentleman played for a second.
Right, and then the Honda Odyssey, the one that I want.
Yes,
that's playing during the fight scene is great. By the way, again, we've said it. The fight scene's so good, but just them fighting and just talking shit the whole time, and just going at it in this car. Just they were made for each other.
I noticed the coexist bumper sticker before it like zoomed in on it, and I was like, oh, that's really funny. Like I've definitely seen that on a lot of like 40-year-old moms' cars, like everywhere. Right. That's really fun. And then they like zoomed in, and I was like, all right, that's a good joke. That's good.
Yeah. And also, I this is like my final like thing to like really talk about it, but goddamn, Hugh Jackman still has those abs. Like, holy shit. God. When they're having to like turn off the machine at the end, which is a great visual when they're working together, and he like sticks his claws into like the machine, and just his whole shirt like deteriorates and blows off.
Yep.
He is ripped. He is a huge jacked man. Like he truly is living up to it. Even Deadpool like looks like, oh my god, we got it.
Well, and they I saw something where like they might have like CGI'd his arms at one point, like before the movie came out. They like, I'm like, okay, that's weird. Maybe he didn't get the muscles back, but I think that was just because they wanted to like have the sleeves be ripped off, and maybe they didn't do that originally. And then probably the most brutal joke in the whole film was like before that, when he's like, yeah, usually he has his shirt off, but he doesn't look the same after the divorce.
Oh yeah.
Hugh Jackman got divorced like less than a year ago.
Yeah, not even a year ago. So they just threw that in there like, holy shit.
They like brushed past it so fast. And I'm like, I really hope there's no way they didn't, but I bet you they went up to Hugh Jackman and was like, hey, can we joke about the divorce? And he was like, sure, whatever.
I for a moment was like, is that even in the script? You know, like that almost feels like an ad lib.
Oh my god, because that was like, I don't know much about the proceedings, what happened or whatever, but they've been married since before the first X-Men movie came out.
Yeah,
like so that was a long-term marriage that ended.
Yeah, speaking about,
they made a joke about.
Speaking about divorce jokes, when Elektra is like telling them about who all has died, and they say like Daredevil is dead. It's like, Daredevil,
I'm so sorry.
And she's like, it's fine. Like it's just like, we don't have to talk about it. He's like, oh, okay, right. But no,
and great. Also Wesley Snipes, there's only one blade. There'll only ever be one blade. And then Deadpool looks at the camera like, uh-oh.
Like, well,
we
also
got one plans.
Right.
We don't know if they'll come out ever, but
yeah, is that movie coming out, dude? Like straight up, for so long, it's just like, is Wesley Snipes the only blade? Because it's starting to feel like it.
I watched the new Rockstar's breakdown. I watched. Apparently, there was some guy that like played Blade in like a TV show or something. I don't remember.
Less
So like
impressive.
apparently there is another one that didn't really matter or make any impact, but
He's in the void. He's in the void
yeah.
somewhere. But no, it's overall super epic, and like that part when they start walking out at the end in like the sparks of like, and I don't want the world to see me.
And everyone was like, yeah, check out those abs.
I know everyone is just like, oh my god.
We're gonna make him do this till he's 90.
To be fair, I sometimes worry about that. I feel like they might.
Well, they did. There was a line that like I think they need to recast Wolverine at this point. And that's my opinion. I think Hugh Jackman did a great job. You know, he came back for this after having a good button with Logan. I think that was funny. I think it was great. He played a lot of the Wolverine variants too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when Deadpool at the end of the movie is like, am I ever gonna see you again? And he goes, probably not. So I'm like, okay, so that's like leaving the door open for them to bring him back if they wanted to, but mostly shutting the door saying Hugh Jackman is now done.
Yeah. Or see you in Secret Wars, you know?
Right. I know it's cameos are kind of gratuitous at this point. I'm kind of hoping that Secret Wars is just like they bring back everyone.
Right.
Like they've had like a few people here and there, you know, like Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange movie had like a few cameos. They brought back a few people. Spider-Man No Way Home brought back a few people. This one brought back a few more people. I want them to bring back every single person they can book for Secret Wars.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they are, considering they are just recasting people, which we even found out this weekend. Robert Downey Jr. is back as Doom, baby.
Yeah. Before we talk about that, which we will, what are like things in Deadpool and Wolverine that like you didn't like or like would change? I have one big one, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
Again, it was a super hilarious movie. I think there were some jokes that didn't hit as well as they could have, but a lot of it was very funny. Nothing wrong. No notes on the script. It's I've heard a lot of people say it's like reading a comic book, like a single issue of a comic book is just crazy off the walls. I agree. That's not a bad thing. I really appreciate how much they were just like, and this is going to be nuts. No, I had a great time. If anything, I maybe would have fleshed out the story with him and Vanessa a little bit more.
Sure.
But really, I don't mind much of it. Paradox was good. He was a good villain. Or he's more of an idiot, along with Cassandra Nova, who was the actual villain.
It's like, I'm gonna blow up the multiverse because I feel like it. And I was like, what? Okay. All right, Paradox.
Yeah, that's maybe like the one thing I'm like, huh? You literally just had a whole talk about empathy. But yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah,
it's not a perfect script, but it's hilarious and it works. So
yeah, and
I guess out of the things I didn't like, I can get past them very quickly.
I think they had to like add some of like Paradox's lines in afterwards after Loki season 2 came out, because that was just last year. Yeah, okay, so my one big thing that I think would have made the movie 10 times better is that they kept talking about how this Wolverine sucks. This Wolverine is like the worst Wolverine, destroys the world. And they like went through, Cassandra went into Wolverine's mind and they talked about it a lot. And he was like, yeah, I like left and they all died. And I was like, what? Oh, okay, so you just like went to a bar and they all died and you blame yourself and that's why you wear the yellow suits or whatever. I don't know. It just felt like kind of weak to me. And if that was the direction that they wanted to go with, I wanted to see it happen. I wanted them to cut to 5 minutes, which they had the runtime for it. They could have upped the runtime by 5 to 10 minutes pretty easily, and spent more time showing that actual lead up. Because like that show don't tell. They just kind of were like, yeah, this Wolverine is mad. they could have easily just flashed back and shown exactly what happened, how his X-Men team died, what happened to them, and I think we would have connected with that story a lot more emotionally. Like, because it was just like, okay, this guy's angry and now he's better because X-23 is cool and awesome. That's great. I admit that it would have taken like a heck of a lot more cameos and more actors to pay for, like getting back, Patrick Stewart again, getting back James Marsden, Famke Jensen, Sean Ashmore,
Yeah, name more people from the cast of the 2000s
Anna
X-Men.
Paquin, Halle Berry. They didn't need to get back all of them, but if they got back like 3 of them, which I'm sure, like I feel like Patrick Stewart would have been down to come back. I feel like James Marsden would have come back. Halle Berry might have been tougher to get back, but they probably could have gotten her.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I wanted to
I
see it.
agree. They even said it's like, would you like to save this for a third act flashback? But we never got that paid off because I was like, oh, there's going to be a flashback and we're going to see what happened. No, we just didn't.
We're kind of going to wave our hands and say, well, he sucks. They're all dead, and he doesn't care anymore.
Right, and also
he's like, you know what? They're gone, and we're not going to bring them back because B-23 is like, well, you wouldn't be the Wolverine you are now if they hadn't died, and I'm like, okay, all right.
It's a horrible thing to say.
An awful explanation. And also, he had his moment of like, not just the bad people of like that Anakin Skywalker and Attack of the Clones, but the women and the children. That's what it felt like to me. And I was like, okay.
I was like, I don't need to hear how bad you actually were.
Like, I think they could have shown a clip of like Wolverine kills the Marvel Universe. Like,
yeah, he just guts Captain America. Why not?
Yeah,
they already did it once, and just have him like put on a wig for the episode,
they could have easily brought him back. Yeah, no, but that was the only thing. Like, if they had fixed that, I think it would have, like, if this movie was like a 9 out of 10, I think that would make it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
like,
it was. I agree. I think they could have used a flashback, maybe only like 5 minutes worth of something, but it was honestly still pretty good. So now out of freaks, because I guess the freak rating is what we're using. out of 10 freaks, how would you rate this Deadpool and Wolverine movie?
I think for me it was like probably about around an 8.
I would say for me, when it comes down to the all freak chips on the table, 9 out of 10 freaks for me. I thought this movie was very funny, very smart, got a few good jabs in, decent characters, along with the cameos who, when you actually sit and think about it, aren't cameos. They're actual roles within the movie itself.
Yeah.
All pretty likable and consistent. And the action's great. And you get a lot of fan service, which in this case, not a bad thing.
Fan service, people make fun of it. I don't think fan service is a bad thing unless it gets like in the way of the story, which it clearly didn't. I don't think fan service is a bad thing.
Yeah, fan service was the story. So in that sense, 9 out of 10 freaks.
Where do you think this is going? Like, I think Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool will come back for like Secret Wars, probably. Do you think we'll see him before that? Because they kept talking like, oh, we're gonna add him to like the main universe and stuff like that.
You know what? At this point, I think it's hard to say, because I feel like the beginning where he auditions for the Avengers is very much a feeling of like,
oh, Jon Favreau. We forgot about that cameo. That was great.
Jon Favreau, good on him. But I feel like that was almost a way of like, and he was in the MCU, and now he's going to do his own thing, and now it was less about him joining the MCU this movie, and it was more about kind of just like saying goodbye to all the old superhero movies, which I thought was good. But yeah, it wasn't really an MCU movie. It was more just, hey, this was a lot of movies over like the span of a decade, like and a little bit more, that like these studios, that these studios did. I think we need to sort of appreciate and take these in and say goodbye. And now here's now we can do all the MCU
Now
stuff.
it's all unified except for Sony, who sucks.
Right.
And I loved the during the credits, all the outtakes from the Fox Marvel movies and stuff. I
Right.
thought that was
Time
really
of your
cute.
life. Yeah. No, that was good. But I would say I don't think he's going to come back till Secret Wars, honestly.
Okay.
And
That
he's
makes
going to be riding in on the back of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Why not?
But, yeah, and if you think about it, Secret Wars isn't that far away.
It's not. It's really not.
It's 3 years away, which, you know, there's not going to be that many movies in between that, because I mean, we got some TV shows like Agatha All Along is coming out this year, and then next year we got three MCU movies coming out, 2025, and then 2026 is Avengers Doomsday, which now Robert Downey Jr. is going to be at the head of the MCU again.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we've rated and talked about the movie, can we please talk about the Doom in the Room? I've been dying to talk about the Doom in the Room.
The Doom in the Room. Yeah, like and
First
the
off,
MCU has kind of become the Robert Downey Jr. universe. Like,
yeah. Also, I just got to say it. The Russo brothers are coming back because The Gray Man was a really okay movie. So now they have pivoted back into the MCU.
Yeah,
and
they needed actors. They needed directors that could do it.
Right, they're good at ensemble. So the Russo brothers are coming back, and their big announcement, I think it was at San Diego Comic-Con, was it?
Yeah. This last week, yeah.
Yeah, in Hall H. They announced with the Fantastic Four, they announced Thunderbolts, and they also were big on announcing, also Captain America New World Order. They were big on announcing they had a new Doom, a bunch of like little freaks in green hoods and Doom masks, and they weren't great hoods, so they were freaks to me. They came in
just little Jawa Dooms.
Yeah, they were Java Dooms, if you will.
Why does that sound like a slur? Oh god.
Oh well,
I don't think
Doom.
it is, but it sounds like one.
It's not. It's a college humor sketch for sure. But then all these weird little freak Dooms get sort of flanked by a more svelte Doom in a suit and more of a green prominent hoodie. Takes off his mask. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Downey Jr. is back. And of course, everyone in the crowd at that moment went effing nuts.
Right. Because they could have announced, if they'd cast someone else, you know, there were a couple other people that I saw that were like fan cast as it or whatever. They'd have someone else. I think the crowd would have still gone crazy. Like they would have been like, oh wow, that's awesome. But if it was like, but if you put anyone, but I don't think it would have gone nearly as crazy, because if you put anyone else, that's Robert Downey Jr. is probably one of the last people we could have seen at it. Obviously, there are less likely people. Like Tom Holland would never be in that mask. That would be funny though.
That would be funny and stupid, and I would love to just see Baby Doom.
Like there are less likely people, but that was a reveal.
Yes, it was a very huge reveal. I agree. I think and they kept it really under wraps, but yeah, it was a live audience. So of course, anyone who they would have announced would have gone crazy. If it was like Cillian Murphy or something like that, which was like a big person in the running, I think it also would have gone crazy. But it's just the pure plot twist of Robert Downey Jr. just being under the mask, and everyone's like, what? But he's dead.
New mask, same task.
Yeah, which interesting line to pull.
Probably one of the Russo brothers was like, dude, this is a really cool line. It like rhymes. Let's do it. And everyone else is like, sure. That's fine. It's not going to ruin the movie. He's not going to say it in the movie.
Yeah, Robert Jr. Was definitely just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, guys. No problem. I don't have an issue with saying something that stupid. But I guess
I wonder how they got him back, because I'm pretty sure he was like, yeah, I'm done.
I think they offered him the GDP of Australia. I think that's what happened. Just a buttload of money.
It's not like he needs more money. Like at that point, I don't know. If I was a famous actor getting like millions of dollars per movie, if I already had millions of dollars, my next movie, I wouldn't necessarily like. I was like, I need more millions. I'd be like, give me like 100,000. Like I'm already rich to my life's content. Like you don't have to pay me that much. It's fine.
But buddy, that's saying that like rich people don't want to be more rich.
I know, but Robert's not a greedy bastard.
Okay, fair enough. We will assume that.
Yeah, I'm assuming that. I've definitely, he's a personal friend of mine. So
yeah, we go golfing together. But
yeah.
I think it's interesting. A lot of people are saying it's like, well, he kicked off the MCU. Now he's gonna close it out. He's gonna kind of finish like the final big story. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like, is he from another universe, or is he like an Iron Man variant, or
Right.
are
Like,
we just?
do you think is he going to be Doom, or is he supposed to look like, or is he like Iron Man from like a weird comic where he like Iron Man turns into Doom, or apparently there's a comic story where Doom transfers his consciousness into Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think they're gonna do?
Well, listen, with the variants and everything, we already established that different actors can play like different roles, or the same actor can play different roles. Like we just saw Johnny Storm played by Chris Evans when we know him as Captain America. Even in the movie,
Right.
we're like expecting him to be Captain America. So I'm hoping that it is just Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom. Just that cut and dry. If we're gonna do it, just do that and just have Tom Holland for 1 second be. It's like, hey, you look like Mr. Stark. I don't know why he's like even more of a little freak baby. But
I and like Doctor Doom, like he wears the mask because he has like scars, right? He has like scars on his face.
Yeah, my guess would be maybe he gets the scars in Doomsday or in the Fantastic Four movie if they use him in that.
I think if they use him in the Fantastic Four movie, he's gonna be like not. He's not gonna be the main antagonist because
I think he's gonna be like a businessman or something. He'll basically be like, and I'm a scientist as well,
right?
Whatever.
Like, I also like both of the other Fantastic Four movies, origin movies that happened, the one from the early 2000s, the one from 2015, they both used Doom as like the main villain and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like Doom is a cool character. Don't make him the main villain right off the bat. I think he's either going to show up end credit scene or he'll be a side character, or maybe he won't show up.
Yeah. Who can say? But I'm going to look forward to seeing it. Also, they just completely wiped the Kang slate clean. It's like, we're not going to do Kang anymore. Smart decision. I'm just going to say it. Smart decision. Cut it off.
I don't think I think they're going to still, I think he's still going to make appearances. That's what I've heard is that like Kang is still going to be there. Like they set him up too much for him not to be, but they're not doing the Kang Dynasty anymore, which is probably good. But yeah, Jonathan Majors got canceled because he beat his girlfriend. Bad man.
That is what the court of law said. That is
right, and
we're not telling tales out of school.
Beyond reasonable doubt. So, so obviously you have to recast him, and if you're going to recast him after what you've already done with the character, it would be weird to make him still just as important. Yeah. I don't know. I think I could see what I think they're going to do is I think maybe Kang is like some of the anchor being in some universes, and they kind of use him like that. Maybe in the beginning of Doomsday, maybe Doom and Kang work together during Doomsday, and like Kang gets killed off, or maybe Doom just goes pew, shoots Kang in the head and destroys all of them or something
with a normal gun. Just a normal gun just shoots him in the head, and it's like, I'm Doom.
Like it would be weird to erase him because Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, say what you will about the film, I still enjoyed it. Again, another one that everyone hated, but I still enjoyed. They did the same thing that Deadpool 3 did, where they kind of got rid of a lot of the ensemble cast. which was weird. Like Michael Pena wasn't even in the movie. That was
Yeah.
probably the biggest thing.
That was the biggest sin. But yeah,
they made a big deal about Kang in that movie. They made
they were milking Kang. They were bringing him out hard. My main thing though, who gives a shit about Kang? I'm sorry, but like who here actually gives a shit before Marvel announced that they were going to make movies about Kang? I did not, because I've never once thought, oh no, Kang.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't know too much about the character before. Like I think he was in one of like the Lego games from my childhood, and I remember being like, who is this guy and why is he here?
Why does he look like a part of Blue Man Group?
Right. Like, so, but I don't think they're just gonna erase him. Like that end credit scene where we see like all of the Kangs, that would be really weird not to pay off.
Yeah, but
even if it's just like, all right, we're gonna wave our hand and we shoot them all. Like Doom comes in and during Secret Wars, he sets all the Kangs against each other and stuff. Like,
yeah, that'll be. I'll be willing to see it, but I am at least glad that they're going Doom, because Doom is way more fun. He's way more of just an evil, like he's Darth Vader with more of a personality. Like like he's if Darth Vader was the Emperor. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You know what would be really funny is if they brought back the 2015 Doom and just made him the butt of every joke.
Oh, like he's got him like in a gimp chain. Like he just pulls around this Doom. Like,
oh my god, I saw that movie once in my parents' basement, and I think this was the turning point for me, because before that, I didn't watch a lot of movies and say that was a bad movie. I always was like, okay, I watched that movie, and I didn't have an opinion on a lot of movies before that point. And then that movie I watched, and I was like, that was bad. That was really bad.
That was your introduction to they can make a bad movie.
Right. It was. Oh God! Like
yeah.
But
I have a question for you though.
Okay.
If they are using Doom, do you think he's going to be only tech based, or do you think he's going to have a little magic like he does in the comics?
I think he's got to have magic. I think if you're going to do Doom, you got to make him a little bit magical.
Dude, make him magic and tech mixed. He's going to be unbeatable. Like that's going to be so fun. And imagine, like, you know, he's up against Doctor Strange and just like, that's cute. Beep, bop, boop, boop.
Right.
Because he's basically has like an Ultron army of Doom bots, and he has like the training of Doctor Strange and like the intellect of Reed Richards. Yeah, Tony Stark and Reed Richards. So he's like every little bit of the MCU put into one villain. And it's like, oh, this is perfect.
Right. And he's going to be scary.
I hope he's scary. I think Robert Downey Jr. can pull off scary. I think he can do that.
He did great in Oppenheimer. You didn't see Oppenheimer, but he was fantastic in that movie and played a great villain. I kind of hope that we get to see multiple Dooms, and that only the one played by Robert Downey Jr. is the important one. Like, I hope we see like 20 Dooms or something like that, and they're all played by like different actors, and just the one that looks like Robert Downey Jr. happens to be like the God Emperor Doom that we follow.
The God Emperor Doom. All right,
the comics, yeah.
No, I know, but it just reminds me of Dune. So it's
okay.
That's all. Yeah, I look forward to it. I think it's going to be like 2 movies. He's going to be Doom, and then later on, it's just going to be either be a recast or it's straight up just going to be a guy in a suit, and maybe RDJ just voices him over.
RDJ is going to be in his 60s when he plays his character.
Yeah, we're
gonna keep him coming back till he's 90. Maybe.
Yeah, well, you definitely are bringing a guy back until he's 60. So what's 30 more years?
And I do appreciate those actors that are like willing to come back, because there's a lot of people that like will bash like Marvel movies and superhero movies because they're just acting on a screen and like all this stuff. I'm like, it's not real cinema. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's fun. It's great. I love those movies. So, you know, if you don't like them, they're not a cup of tea. That's fine. So I do appreciate those actors that are like, yeah, I'll come back. Like Chris Evans was like, I'll only come back if I get to play Johnny Storm instead. Like, I don't want to play Steve Rogers again. I'm like, fair enough.
You know what?
But he
Good on you. You did it for
ball.
10 years.
You could also just play ball and like I think Chris Hemsworth is one that's like I'll come back for as long as they want me. Like
Yeah, he said as long as I get to have fun, like I will come back.
right, and as long as Taika Waititi is not directing the next one, I think we're fine.
I think I'll go see it if that's the case, or if Taika just gets his head out of his rear end. But I will say, AJ, for the second episode of Chaotic Crossover,
Yeah,
there was quite a bit of crossover.
we're trying to get across here.
Quite a bit of crossover. We talked multimedia. We talked all different types of cameos and stuff. We talked about the return of Wesley Snipes, the biggest.
Blows my mind.
Yeah. And some thoughts on Doom. I think it'll be. I think ultimately it'll be good. I will watch it. But yeah. But as of now, that has been Chaotic Crossover. Anything you want to leave off with, AJ? Anything you've been watching or liking lately?
Audience, I just want to look you in the eyes for a second. I have been wearing this shirt for weeks now. I have not taken it off or washed it. It is now molded to my body. If I try peeling it off, it'll crust off. So please, click on this video once, and we can finally remove the shirt. And if you don't, I will have to wear this forever. And I will smell so bad. And I will be so disgusting. I showered with this on today.
Ugh.
Save me. All right, yeah, that's it. That's it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love this shirt. I'm going to wear it till I die. I'm going to wear it to my wedding. But anyhow, yes, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Chaotic Crossover. Next week, I believe we are talking about Tales of the Jedi Episode 2. Yep. Excited for that one. But until next time, have a great day. I'm Will.
I'm AJ.
All right. Keep it chaotic. Crossover,
yep,
kids.